Okay, welcome back to another episode of Banking Without Borders. Today we're going to be talking about the Yonder Credit Card. Now this is a credit card that's available here in the UK. It's a Mastercard credit card and it's rewards based. So what that means is you can earn Yonder points every time you spend. Now because this is positioned as a rewards credit card, it does mean that it is a competitor or arguably a competitor for American Express. And that's one thing I want to explore in this video. Could you replace your American Express card with this Yonder credit card? And I'm going to dig into redemption rates and what are the best ways to redeem your Yonder points that you earn when you spend with this card. But what makes it compelling? The products that you can redeem those Yonder points for are super interesting. There are a number of different experiences from shopping, dining, travel, and those retailers, those opportunities are very unique and very niche, which means that users of this card have the opportunity to explore and discover new things. I'm also going to talk about my own personal experience. I just got back from Sicily using just this card and I spent roughly £3,500 to £4,000. I'm also joined by my co-host Jan, who's here today to just keep me in check and ask the kind of questions that you might have while you're watching along today. As I mentioned at the top of the show, this is a Mastercard credit card, and if you want to get one yourself, you're gonna have to be over 18, you're gonna have to be under 65, a UK resident with a regular source of income, you need proof of ID and address. And the application process is super simple. I timed it, it took less than 5 minutes from when I submitted the application to having the Yonder card in my Apple Pay. So with the Yonder card, there are two membership tiers available. We have the free plan and the paid plan. Now, the free plan earns 1 Yonder point per pound, and the paid plan earns 5 points per pound. The thing that I think is probably weakest about this Yonder card is the free plan, because the free plan, while it does give you the opportunity to earn points and you can redeem those points for experiences, and we'll talk about redemption shortly, you are limited on how much you can redeem in terms of points on the free plan. The paid plan gives you the opportunity to redeem more points, and this is immediately a bit of a red flag. Unlike having American Express membership reward points and exchanging them for Avios, where you can exchange as much as you want and spend as much as you want, Yonder do say that we have a fair usage limit on how many points that you can redeem each time with a new experience. And if you go for the paid plan, you're able to redeem more points with a retailer or with an experience each time you redeem. The paid plan has travel insurance, which I'll jump into shortly in greater detail. And you also get a sign-up bonus of 10,000 points, which is, it's quite compelling. You don't need to spend any money to receive those points either. You can also withdraw for free £150 per day, up to £600. That should be in absolute emergencies. You know, if you withdraw money using a credit card, it's likely that will be reported to the credit agencies like Experian. It might not negatively impact your credit score. I can't know for sure, but it will be reported on your file. Another additional thing, if you do want to upgrade from free to paid, you have to contact support. And that's the same if you want to downgrade. I think that's arguably a negative thing. You have to contact support to upgrade or downgrade. The app itself is really interesting. Jan, I know you're not based in the UK, so it's hard for you to see this. And when I come to edit the video, I will put plenty of visuals of the app itself, but it is really beautifully designed. I've got to say it has the slick fintech look of Monzo. Just imagine for a moment if Monzo and Soho House had a baby. That's what I'm seeing here. It's like a really slick fintech looking app with like the bougie boutique brand that you get with Soho House.
Jonny, to be honest, I had a look at a few screenshots and I definitely think it's on par with Revolut. One of the most beautiful banking apps out there, I believe currently.
Everything is very clear. It's very visual, lots of big images, beautiful images, and particularly around food, Jan. If you're a bit of a foodie, Yonder is definitely a compelling proposition because they open you up to a number of different restaurants, a number of different dining experiences, from Michelin starred to more like smaller shack style meals and foods like street foodie stuff.
Jonny, so what you mean is that you can use your points and redeem them for a table at a restaurant, for example.
Yeah. So you click on the experiences tab inside the app, and then under dining, you basically just find the restaurant that you want to go to. And you essentially have two categories. One would be like a walk-in restaurant, which doesn't require booking. And then another would be one that does require a booking. So if we take Potter and Reed, this is a walk-in restaurant. So if you click through, here is how many points you can redeem with this restaurant and how much they'll be worth. And then if you just go to Potter and Reed, eat your food, pay the bill with the Yonder card, you'll then receive a push notification saying, would you like to earn points with Potter and Reed, or would you like to redeem points? And that's the point in which you get to make the choice. And in this case, you could redeem as much as 8,600 points for £30.
You know what I find funny, Johnny? How they call it a fair usage policy, right? Shouldn't it be fair that you can use the cashback that you earn with your hard-earned money, and then the money you spend, obviously, at once, whenever you want it? Might be weird wording here.
Yeah, when you talk to Yonder about this, they'll say that it's really just to give users the opportunity to explore different things, and they are forcing your hand here to do it. And I'm going to talk about, who this is for and who it's not. But if you are looking to maximize value from your points, Yonder might not be for you for that reason, for the reason that you are curated in the way in which you can utilize your points. Okay. To some degree. We'll talk about that shortly. But Jan, I want to talk about quickly the travel and foreign spending benefits of this card. It uses Mastercard's FX rates, which we all know are more or less on par with the mid-market rate. There's about 0.8% markup when you're spending euros with this card. There's no fixed fee when spending money internationally either, which is already better than American Express, which charged 2.99%, plus the markup on the AMEX exchange rate, which I know isn't going to be as good as Mastercard's. That's also better than the Barclaycard Avios card we've talked about previously, Jan, which is another good, compelling rewards card here, but predominantly for spending money domestically and not internationally. The daily ATM withdrawals also still apply, the £150 fee free. Again, don't do that, please, but it's there if you need it. While I was in Sicily using this card, I think I spent roughly £3,200 on a hotel alone. I was using the free plan, and I just got the Mastercard rate, paid no other fee.
Wow. That's impressive.
The travel insurance that comes with the paid plan, and remember, this paid plan is £15 per month. You get up to £1 million in medical emergency abroad cover. You get emergency dental. You get trip cancellation. You get lost, stolen baggage, lost travel documents, delayed flight cover, missed departure. So if you wake up too late and you miss your flight, you're covered. You get personal liability for damage or injury abroad. So if you hurt someone, you're covered. Car rental excess waiver up to £3,000, which covers windows, tires, lost keys, etc., etc. Winter sports is covered as well. So if you go skiing and the piste is closed and you can't ski for a whole week, you're going to be able to get that back on insurance. Really comprehensive, Jan. Something that's really important to note here, though, is that it's not good enough just to have the Yonder paid plan to qualify for the insurance. You do need to book your travel or your accommodation through your Yonder card. And if you have a look at the policy document, it says that to be eligible for cover, you must charge at least part of the cost of the journey to your covered card, so your Yonder card, before the journey begins. And it does say at least part of the cost, but if I were you, make sure to book any travel or accommodation that you'd like the insurance to cover you for. Make sure to book it with your Yonder card.
One of the main reasons why I don't rely on card, the insurance that comes with my cards, is that trips that are longer than a certain amount of days are usually not covered. And as someone who is literally traveling full time, that's obviously a big deal for me, and that makes these insurances useless essentially. Does Yonder have any trip length exclusion that applies?
So trips longer than 60 days are excluded, or 31 days for car rental. So you really are covered essentially for a month or 2 months.
Yeah, it should be enough for the average holiday goer, right? Maybe not as good for digital nomads, but that's fair enough. That's on par with existing cards, I believe.
So I was excited to talk about the travel insurance because I think that's a good product. But what I'm more excited to talk about is the way in which we can redeem our Yonder points. Come up with a redemption hierarchy, which basically lists the best and worst ways to redeem your points. And unfortunately, towards the bottom is a way in which people like to spend their reward points, particularly with American Express, and that's flight redemption. Right at the bottom is statement credit. So if you want to redeem your points for your statement, that is a really bad way to spend your points, your Yonder points, guys. Don't do that. And it's the same with American Express as well. It's a really bad way to do it. But after that, unfortunately, is flight redemption, which is only available for full plan holders, Jan. And you essentially book a flight with any airline and it'll appear on your statement, and Yonder will then say, do you want to redeem your points? It's available to full plan holders, like I said, and the redemption rates are only 0.16p per point. And if you're earning 5 points per pound, that's an equivalent cashback rate of 0.80%. It's not that good. It's not that compelling. I know what you're thinking, Jan. It's not that exciting. And I promise, I know that these redemption values aren't that impressive. They're not mind-blowing, and it's really disappointing in a way, particularly with the airline stuff. But There are some reasons to look at this and that I find quite fun that I'll sum up towards the end of the show. I did come across Gymkhana Fine Foods. This was very interesting. This is 0.73p per point, and it's a way to order food to your home that's Michelin starred. And I was like, wow, that looks quite impressive. So I contacted customer support because I had seen advertised, Jan, that you could only get up to 0.5p per point. I told them, look, your app says that I can redeem this many points for this many pounds, and they said it was wrong. So they had to change it. And as an apology, they gave me 1,000 Yonder points.
How much would that be? £1, right?
They gave me £1.
Well, it doesn't sound as impressive.
It depends on how I redeem them, I guess. Do I buy ground coffee? Do I, buy an eSIM with Airalo, which is one of the more higher redemption values or opportunities? You can buy your eSIM from Airalo. Yeah, what makes it, I think, more frustrating is that you are also capped. There is also that fair usage limit, so you cannot redeem all of your points. You can redeem multiple times though, Jan. So I bought a bottle of gin for my wife. She's not an alcoholic by no means, but she has she enjoys a glass of gin on the weekends. No, she enjoys a gin and tonic. And so I got her a bottle of gin, and it was like £49, and I redeemed, £40 worth of points. But if I wanted to, I could go back to the retailer, buy another bottle of gin, and do the process again. So there's no cap on how many times you can go back and forth and purchase a product. You're going to be racking up shipping bills, shipping costs. Maybe you could email them privately and be like, could you package this all together?
Mm-hmm. Jonny, you mentioned that you paid £49 for a bottle of gin. So does that mean that these retailers and restaurants, that they are on the premium side? All of them?
It would appear that the majority of the retailers are on the premium side. You and I know Airalo quite well. We could argue that it's not necessarily a premium eSIM brand, if that even exists. But yes, when you look at some of these retailers, Jan, Batch LDN, for example, it's a premium suit company. I mean, just look at the price of some of their suits.
I would disagree with the fact that Airalo is not on the premium side. They're definitely a premium price, Jonny. Compare them to other eSIMs out there using the Monitor eSIM search engine, and you'll see that they're most of the time not the cheapest option. And the same goes for Qatar Airways. It's definitely a premium airline. And I can't speak about these other retailers, but yeah, it sounds like it's on the premium side, which is interesting.
Yeah, the Qatar one is interesting because the redemption values are actually higher than if you were to book with an airline at, I believe, 0.16p per point. Whereas the Qatar, if you book Qatar Airways with your Yonder card, you're going to get 0.3p per point.
Typically, if you book directly with the airline, the prices are a lot more expensive, aren't they? So I'd be curious, like you probably can't redeem your points if you book a Qatar Airways flight through a third-party retailer, can you?
No, you can't.
Yeah, maybe not the best feature.
You can book through Skyscanner and redeem your points for that, but you can't be booking through third-party retailers.
Let's move to the next topic. Let's compare Yonder with AMEX. What do you think about that?
I've got some thoughts about this, and I think it's quite clear at this point that American Express is going to reward your spending more than Yonder can. And there are a couple of reasons for that. Yonder is a loss-making fintech startup. And it's my view that this offering that they have at the moment is about as generous as it's going to get. But for a Mastercard-backed rewards credit card, this is probably one of the best that's available. The way it's packaged inside this beautifully designed app that's much better than American Express. But they're at the behest of the Mastercard interchange fees, So American Express can naturally offer a lot more, and Yonder are inherently limited by this and how much they can reward you. So I don't think they'll ever be able to outperform Amex on pure value. They shine in terms of the curation and the discovery. They introduced me to brands that I've mentioned on this and experiences that I hadn't come across before. As a travel credit card, like I mentioned, it's fantastic and beats American Express. My biggest gripe and why I would say American Express is better than Yonder, particularly for spending money domestically, is the cap on redemption value. With Amex, you can, and if you want, spend your points however you wish. You can chase high value redemptions, such as transferring points to Avios and booking business or first class cabins. Basically, you can squeeze every last drop or deal out of the value of your points. But with Yonder, you don't have that choice. Your points are curated and restricted, so it's definitely not built for point hackers. I think that's very clear. But then again, I just don't think that that's Yonder's target market, Jan. When I used my points for that ground coffee and to buy that gin for my wife, it genuinely felt like the card was it sounds cheesy, but it felt like the card was treating me. Like it actually felt quite refreshing not to try and pursue as much value as possible, not to spend 10, 15 minutes on Avios trying to find like a flight that's available close enough to the dates that I want to travel or even to the country that I want to go to. You know, it was really nice just to get something that looked interesting and different and premium, and also get it basically all paid for. And I think that's who this card is essentially for. It's built for the people that want to discover something new. If you cherish new experiences, if you cherish new products, if you want to try different things, then the Yonder card is definitely for you. When it comes to spending money internationally, if you're looking for a credit card to spend while you're abroad and be rewarded for your spending, then I would definitely consider Yonder.
Wow. Fair enough. Sounds like a great product, Jonny. Great.
I didn't expect a wow.
Yeah, it's you sold me on it. I would sign up if I could, to be honest, because I believe this has a target audience, right? And I might fit right into that. I'm someone who travels so much, always spending money internationally. And I just can't use an AMEX because it's not accepted in most places I travel to.
You mentioned something that I just completely missed, is that some retailers don't accept American Express, and having a Mastercard rewards card in your wallet as backup is quite important. And for a long time, that's been the Barclaycard Avios card for me. But it's going to be this card. It's going to be this one from now on. If you are currently a Yonder credit card holder, please do comment below. Let us know your experience. I think that's one of the most useful things that anyone who's considering this card could read, is personal experiences. So please do comment below. Let us know your thoughts on Yonder. And as always, if you want to support Jan and I, if you want to support the podcast or the YouTube channel, please do like this video, particularly if you found it useful, and subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate your subscription. And that's one of the best ways that you can support us.